Firefighters are tackling the monster blaze, 60 feet high like a huge inexhaustible jet engine. Some of these men earn $1,000 a day, but it's a job fashioned in hell. This is a fireman's eye view.
And bear in mind that these firemen, some much closer than this, have to stand in boxes like this for upwards of half an hour. And outside, the temperature on the firehead can be as high as 2,400 degrees or so.
Accidents were rare, heat stroke was common. As this exhausted group recover, others are prepared to go into battle. Even an all-out assault by chemicals failed to smother this fire. The men and the machines had to go back in again. And there was always the risk of setting fire to the lagoons of oil surrounding the blaze. The digger drivers risked death going inside the screens to claw at the damaged wellhead. This one lost its grip, tracks sliding as it teetered on the edge of the fire pit. The driver used the arm to push himself out, but it was a worrying moment for the safety boss crew. Their man had certainly felt the heat. But most of the firemen have already celebrated their victory. The only smoke here from the barbecue. Nobody celebrated harder than the Kuwaitis. They can see their sunset again. Ken Rees, ITN.
The oil field fires in Kuwait are out, all but one of them, and that should be capped in time for a ceremony tomorrow. It'll mark a great victory for the firefighters. They've done their job much quicker than even they expected. Some of the wells were set alight in the Gulf War fighting, most deliberately ignited by fleeing Iraqi troops. The fires began on February the 22nd. By the end of the war, 640 wells were burning. It was late March before the first fire was out, and it was expected to be next March before all were extinguished.
The war was over in 4 days. The battle for Kuwait's blazing oil wells took 231, but it's still considered a famous victory for firefighting teams from 27 nations. In the southern field, they were capping the last well today, ready for the celebration when the Emir will symbolically put out the last fire. It'll be relit, especially for the occasion. When Saddam torched Kuwait's oil field, 740 wells were left blazing or spewing oil, threatening an environmental catastrophe, turning midday into midnight. Now, in record time, the skies are blue again, but for one remaining fire. For Canadian firefighters, they're tackling a monster blaze, 60 feet high like a huge inexhaustible jet engine. Some of these men earn $1,000 a day, but it's a job fashioned in hell. Inside the metal screens, temperatures can reach 200 degrees, the fire itself 2,000. Even protective clothing doesn't always work. Heat stroke is common. As one exhausted group recover, others are ready to go into battle. Even an all-out assault by chemicals failed to smother this inferno. The men and the machines had to move back in.
Not only is there the usual intense heat, you can feel it from here, of course, but this one has an additional hazard. It's almost completely surrounded by a lagoon of crude oil. 7,000 square meters of it spread around the well. The danger is that could catch on fire as they try to put the other fire out.
The digger drivers risked death moving inside the screens to claw at the damaged wellhead. This one lost its grip, track sliding, it teetered on the edge of the fire pit. The driver used the arm to push himself out, but it was a worrying moment for the safety boss crew, and he'd certainly felt the heat. Within the last hour, the team have managed to put the blaze out. Already the firemen from America, Britain, even China and Iran have been celebrating their victory, years ahead of some experts' predictions. The workforce reached nearly 10,000 during the last 5 months of the battle, but now they've done it. Their reward, a barbecue in the football stadium.
It's been hard work. It's been very black, you know, a lot of the time. And now the fires are out, the sun's coming out. Now everybody's complaining about how warm it is with the sunshine.
Each team was personally thanked by an official of the Kuwait Oil Company.
You know, there's a lot of very proud fellows, and we'd have done the work in the same amount of time, whether we were paid by the day, the well, or did it for free. I don't think that would have made any difference. So everyone's just happy to have accomplished it, and safely. No injuries, no accidents, and say that's a job well done. We're ready to go on to the next one.
So the firemen are happy.